Hey, welcome to Math Mr. Jorgens here. We're going to be talking about section 4.6 on arithmetic sequences today. This is going to be a part 1. We're going to be looking at part 2 tomorrow. Make sure you're paying attention because there's going to be a few questions for you along the way. So arithmetic sequences is all about patterns of numbers. And so patterns of numbers that extend on is kind of what we're looking at today. So we have a few key terms that we're going to need to know about throughout the lesson today. Now the first term that comes up is called the first term. And the first term is kind of your starting point, which in this case is 4, right? And our notation for the first term, we call it A1. And A is going to mean term 1. So term 1 or first term in this case is 4. So if you're asked for the first term throughout today and tomorrow, that's going to be whatever the first number in the pattern is. The second kind of key phrase we have is the phrase common difference. And the notation we use for common difference is the letter D. And what D is telling you is how much you go up by to get to the next one. So in this one, we're counting by 5s, right? Because 4 plus 5 makes 9. 9 plus 5 makes 14. 14 plus 5 makes 19. 19 plus 5 makes 24, and so on. So our D in this case would be 5. And the D, or the common difference, is how much you're going up by to get to that next term. Now another type of question you might be asked is, what's the next term, right? And so the next term, so if they ask you for like the next 3 terms, you would just extend out the pattern by adding 5, right? So if you add 5 to 24, you'd get 29. And then if you add another 5, you get up to 34. And add another 5, you get up to 39, right? So the next terms would be just if you carry that pattern out, what's coming next, right? So in this case, you would keep adding 5, and you can continue that pattern on as long as you're asked to do so. All right, so example 1, we're going to find the common difference in the next 3 terms of the following arithmetic sequence. So our sequence is going to be 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, and so on, right? So our goal is to find the common difference and the next 3 terms. So based on what we talked about on the first screen, what is the common difference on this sequence of numbers? Enter your answer when you're ready. So looking at the pattern, I'm starting at 2. 2 is my first term, and then I'm adding by 4 to get to the next one. So I'm always adding by 4 to get to the next one. So my common difference would be 4, right? Now knowing that the common difference is 4, again, D is my notation for common difference. Knowing that my common difference is 4, I should be able to carry that pattern out and find the next 3 terms. So after the number 18, I'm looking for the next 3 numbers. So figure out those next 3 numbers in the sequence and enter your answer when you're ready. So I'm adding 4, so 18 plus 4 is 22. 22 plus 4 is 26. 26 plus 4 makes 30. So the next 3 numbers in my sequence would be 22, 26, and 30. All right, so let's take a look at a second example here. We're going to find the common difference in the next 3 terms of the sequence 15, 12, 9, 6, and so on. So from that pattern, we're going to find the common difference first. So we're going to think about how you would get to the next number. And it turns out if you use subtraction, we're going to say negative. And if you use addition, it's going to be positive. So I think you might be using subtraction here. So the common difference in that case, if it is subtraction, would be negative. Go ahead and find your common difference. And when you're ready, enter your answer. All right, you should see that we're able to subtract 3 to get to the next term, which is the same as adding by negative 3. So my common difference is going to be negative 3 here. Now that I have the common difference, I should be able to carry that pattern out to find my next 3 terms in the sequence. So now that we have the common difference, go ahead and find the next 3 terms in the pattern. So I'm subtracting 3, so 6 subtract 3 is going to make 3. 3 subtract 3 is going to make 0. And 0 subtract 3 is going to make negative 3. So 3, 0, and negative 3 would be my next 3 terms in the sequence here. All right, our last example for this first video on section 4.6 is going to be to find the 10th term of the sequence, negative 2, 1, 4, 7, and 10. So for instance, what I mean by 10th term is 4 would be the 3rd term, 10 would be the 5th term, and so on. So go ahead and find that 10th term and enter your answer when you're ready. So hopefully you realize the common difference is going to be 3, and so I can get to the next one by adding 3. And so one way I could do it is just by continuously adding 3 a bunch of times. And if I do that, it'll be 13, 16, that's 5, 6, 7 terms, 19 is 8 terms, 22 is 9 terms, and then 25 for that 10th term, right? And so my answer would be 25. So hopefully you pick 25, and I'm guessing most people did it that way. Now tomorrow we're going to look at kind of some shortcuts for how to do it faster, because the 10th term is possible, but if this was the 100th term, it would take a lot longer. So what I could realize is to get to the 10th term, I'm going to have to add 3 9 times. And that's because to get to the 2nd term, I added 3 once. To get to the 3rd term, I added 3 twice. So you always add, you don't have to add 3 for the 1st term, but each one after that you have to add 3. So I'm going to have to add 3 9 times, which gives us 27, right? And that's the amount I'm going to have to add in. And my starting point, my first term was negative 2, plus the 27 is going to make the 25 that I got here. So tomorrow we're going to kind of look at some shortcuts for how we can go a little bit faster. Hopefully for today you can at least do it the longer way where we're carrying out the pattern and getting those next 3 terms. Hope you had a good day, and check in tomorrow for part 2.